So the second session for the day is titled Just Technology. Can digitization of law be inclusive? We're thinking of issues of intersections of digital technology with law and how to grapple with this question of technology around thinking of what consequences there are for the justice systems.
I will first take recourse to the concept of algorithmic governance. Christian Katzenbach and Lena Ulbricht, in a 2019 article in Internet Policy Review, they define algorithmic governance as, and I quote, a form of social ordering that relies on coordination between actors, is based on rules, and incorporates particularly complex computer-based epistemic procedures. There is ample literature now that demonstrates how algorithms are not independent, how the political, social, and economic context shapes the design of algorithms incorporating prevalent biases. The current decade focuses on incorporating technology for crime and criminal information management, for better decision making through AI, big data repository, cyber surveillance technologies, and so on. The Motor Vehicle Department installed more than 700 AI-enabled cameras across the state of Kerala to track minor traffic violations and report them automatically to the State Control Unit. Responsible AI is thus not a concept related to algorithmic modeling, but rather pertaining to everyday practice and real-world applications.
For instance, there's a reality of land grabbing and of land redistribution efforts that are based on a desire to annihilate caste, for instance. In terms of algorithmic management, the hidden reality is that of just labor exploitation. So usually when we speak about digitization of the law, these are the important problems that we talk about. We talk about how the quality of the data is not good enough to do this. The state doesn't have the capacity to do this. There's bias, transparency, so on and so forth. It costs too much. And these are important issues, but I think we need to also look at what the law is, how it came about, and what it does. So how political contestation leads to the existence of the law in the shape that we see today. There are struggles, there's class struggle, there's caste struggle, there's all manner of things that lead to the law that exists today. And I also want to think of something that's a bit tangential but related in terms of how digital technology is expected to democratize any process if its own production is so monopolized. So what can you do now that you have an AI tool to do X, Y, Z, and who is now not able to do the things they used to be able to? Who is now not able to make a living through making art or through being a marketer or so on? I just wanted to surface the existence of politics in the creation of the law and how you should therefore engage with technology policy, knowing that politics exists and it determines what the law looks like.
The first theme I want to speak to the history is that originally the police department used to be a part of the revenue department. Post the 1857 Sepoy Mutiny uprising, nomadic tribal communities who were itinerant and therefore were not easily under control because you didn't know where their movements were, and they were also carrying a lot of messages for the resistance movement at the time. They brand these communities as criminal tribes. And they use the logic of the caste system wherein it's a hierarchy of labor as well as laborers, and which is pre-designed by birth, right? Today, which generates large amounts of information daily on a general basis about the movements of several individuals and where they reside and what kind of association they have with each other. And so even going back to the 1870s, so you're creating this mechanism based on the need of what a perceived criminality at that time is. This kind of carceral space that is created around communities as a whole and criminality is ascribed to them, that needs a system that feeds itself through newer and newer technologies. Hence you see in Delhi, in Hyderabad, where most of our work right now is centered, the politics of data collection and gathering in itself are so skewed, right? We have communities asking for a caste census today, but that's not something that the state wants to invest in. I want for us to be able to engage with the dynamics of caste because it's about the interpersonal as well.
Values of kindness and trust and caring are not there in coding, where it's just a profit-driven mechanism. It has led to a lot of problems. So how do we correct it?
First, on whether it's blasphemy, I suppose it has been blasphemy ever since industrialization. You know, the alienation of the produced technology from the person who or the people who produce it is a tale that is quite old.
Law is not an empty form. It's a codification of a certain power relation, right? There is a way in which law is treated to be an empty form so that there may be an idea of bias-free decision making.